The greatness of woman. As we have seen, life becomes much more meaningful and enjoyable when one understands and learns to deal with men and materials successfully. Unfortunately, the greatness of woman has so far been understood only by a few people who are really developed in spiritual knowledge. The majority of mankind, however, fails to realize the fortune provided by nature through womanhood. Nature is a self-developed architect in the process of evolution of the universe. It has formed beautiful objects and wonderful living beings with marvelous attributes. That same architect, the Almighty, has entrusted the production and maintenance of all human beings to woman. It is therefore curious that man, who is endowed with the greatest of universal treasures, the sixth sense, is not able to recognize the greatness of woman. And this is so despite the great intellectual advancement in this scientific computer age. Ages ago, the land space of our globe consisted of mountainous terrain that emerged from the water. Early human beings had to contend with wild animals existed in a state of danger. As a result, the male of the species acquired a certain degree of superiority. In the beginning, the authority of men and the meekness and humility of women were born of love and affection alone. The situation changed drastically over time, and today, with the aid of instruments and machinery, women are men's equal in almost every area of work. Of course, in some areas, women cannot undergo as much physical effort as men. This is because of the structure of the female physical system, which was designed by nature to house the embryo and give birth to children. If only men would keep in mind the fact that the entire human race has been given birth to by woman alone, it will help them realize the greatness of woman. It is sad that even now, when there is such strident assertion of equality of caste, creeds, and rights, woman is considered less than equal to man, whether she is sister, mother, wife, or daughter. I am explaining this only to raise the level of consciousness of mankind so that justice may be rendered to woman. The sky system and karma yoga provide a total perspective of knowledge covering all areas of life, and so we should not neglect the understanding of this subject. Industrial laws, inheritance, and legislation have all been weighted against women for centuries. Women have been kept out of spiritual practices as well. Even now, this injustice continues. The reason for this is that all the laws were framed by men alone. We cannot blame any individual or group for these prejudicial measures. Time, place, and environmental conditions forced humanity to follow certain principles in life. Then habit and sentimental concepts subjected women to humiliation. These became a ritualistic dogma. Now that we are in a scientific computer age, the age of awareness, reasoning, and justice, we have the duty to rectify these errors and injustice so that we may ensure better living for all. According to the sky system of Karma Yoga, there is no sinner or criminal. Sin or crime is the result of hereditary imprints carried over several generations and environmental conditions of society. We have to think, understand, and bring about a new method of living for all people. We can do this by erasing previous wrongs through the process of superimposition and by leading a better life in the future. Every individual in the family should understand these important points and erase past wrongs by according equal status to women in the family without any hesitation or reservation. Changing one's habits and sentimental concepts by introspection and superimposition is, of course, a rather difficult task for man. This is because the flow of life current along the channel of habit is easy and calls for no special exertion. As we have discussed, even after one realizes that a particular habit is wrong or unjust, one prefers not to change it. But wisdom consists in freeing oneself from the shackles of the past. So, a determined effort must be made to bring about a change in the social attitude towards women. The constitution of every country should be amended wherever necessary in order to accord equal status for women. Special privileges should be allowed suitable to their physical structure. As a first gesture of good faith in parliamentary democracies, 50% of the seats in the legislature should be reserved for women. If such sincere steps are taken by society, the equality of women with men would become a reality in a decade or so. This would ensure harmony and balance in the social setup. This is a very important duty of man towards womanhood. Learn Sky Yoga system today and start your journey of consciousness. Be blessed by the divine.